Please come forwards.
Thanks for coming to this conference today. I can tell you that I choose to go to the moon. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So it's Friday, it's the weekend, we made it. Let's have a look at what's going on. Not too much. Well, actually, what has been going on is ever since we had that crazy pump with the Bitfinex'ed Tether incident, it seems like we've kind of been on a slow decline ever since then. So if we have a look over here, you could see we shot up from sitting around $6,400 all the way up to $6,800, only to fall way back down to $6,400 again, all within the same day. So that was pretty incredible. Now we're finding ourselves stabilizing right where we should be. So we're currently sitting around $6,300 according to Coinbase, but if we look at the overall average, it's around $6,450 for Bitcoin. Now, let's talk about what the SEC has recently launched, which is a division that's actually going to help ICOs out. So basically, this is called the FinHub, and it provides a central point of focus for their efforts to monitor and engage on innovations in the securities markets that hold promise, but which also require a flexible, prompt regulatory response to execute their mission. This is according to SEC Chairman Jay Clayton. So it says, launched today with the announcement is a new forum on the SEC website where fintech-based companies, including ICOs, can request to speak directly with the SEC for guidance with compliance issues. This is actually what it looks like right here. This is the forum. This is the new page that they have on their website. So basically, they say that it's a big deal because currently in the cryptocurrency markets, we've been doing things in reverse. An ICO will launch and then hope that they never hear from the SEC or find out that they did or said something wrong. So now, before an ICO even begins, they can share their plans with the SEC and let their investors know that they've already received a thumbs up from regulators. So in the sense of fundraising, this is actually a good thing. I think at least that shows that they're working with them. They're not banning ICOs. They're encouraging them as long as they work within the regulatory framework. So I think that is, in a sense, bullish news. Also, getting back on the whole Tether thing, obviously that has a lot of concern. I'm sure the SEC is not too happy about that. Also, you have a lot of investors skeptical of getting involved, considering how big Tether is, how much percentage of the marketplace it takes over. And you're seeing Mike Novogratz, he said that he's looking into other stable coins as well, especially ones that have U.S. banking connections. He says, I think Tether didn't do a great job in terms of creating transparency. The concept of stable coins does make sense, however. Now, if you come over here and you look at Binance, Binance is looking into all stable coins. As you know, they've recently listed a whole bunch. They're looking into potentially adding some more as well. But the one thing that it says here is, speaking to Binance's recent expansion in Uganda to work with local institution for fiat on-ramps, they had Wei Zhu, who was speaking on behalf of Binance, said rather than hold Bitcoin, institutions actually prefer to hold stable coins, which is interesting because the dollar is still the default currency in some of these countries. That's just one use case that we've seen that's different in this part of the world versus other parts of the world. And also, when you think about these other parts of the world, actually getting your hands on, dollars or stuff like that, it's a lot easier for them to actually just go and get some cryptocurrencies. And then, yes, if they don't want to deal with the volatility, then they can hold a stable coin. So they go on to say that we do believe this stablecoin as an entity is critical for our ecosystem right now. Now, this is referencing Tether because it offers an alternative for investors to park their assets in something they can relate to. Also, I don't think that anyone's just going to completely up and get rid of Tether regardless of what it does, because there is a lot tied to it. I mean, if you look at the books on Binance, a lot of it is tied to Tether. As you can see right here, according to CoinMarketCap, it says that Bitcoin USDT pairings make up over 14% of Binance's global volume over the past 24 hours alone, in addition to 12% of traction from other USDT pairings over other altcoins. So if you guys, I don't know if you guys follow Nick Carter, not the guy from the Backstreet Boys. The other Nick Carter, the co-founder at Coinmetrics.io, he's always on Twitter and stuff like that. So he argued that stablecoins are currently used by traders who lack fiat on-ramps for regulatory arbitrage or want to avoid capital controls. He says, I don't believe traders will adopt the regulated alternatives like the Gemini dollar, which has anti-money laundering built in. He says to me, those aren't even playing in the same sandbox. So he argues that actually that they like using the one like USDT because it's not actually backed, and that kind of sits more with the original ethos, I guess, of cryptocurrencies. Now that kind of makes me jump into this next story. Actually forgot. I wanted to throw this in there really quick too. So I just wanted to really quick say Goldman, Sachs, and Galaxy Digital, which is Mike Novogratz's company, are invested in a combined $15 million deal into BitGo. So this is a fully regulated cryptocurrency custodian that securely purchases and stores digital assets on behalf of institutional investors. But getting on to what I really wanted to say was this article that came out. So this says, enough with the ICO me so horny, get rich quick Lambo crypto. So this is basically talking to this guy over here. Now this is Tim. It's a Q&A from CoinDesk specifically. It's Timothy May, okay? He's the author of Crypto Anarchist Manifesto. And he kind of goes on, they ask him questions. What do you think about the market? What do you think about Bitcoin? What do you think about ICOs and all of these coins? And, you know, he goes to say that, it's definitely got clouded. It's definitely lost its vision. This isn't what Satoshi had envisioned, having to pass KYC, AML type things, where you can have freezes on accounts and you have to check things with passports. Originally Bitcoin was designed to get around the centralized entities, whereas now we're promoting it. We're saying when ETF, when is Backed coming in? When is Fidelity coming in? When are the STOs coming in, right? So the space has definitely shifted quite a lot. This is actually a really good read. It's a super long article. You guys should have a look at it for sure. Now, where have I seen this block grain thing before? Right, consensus. And we all know how that went. Now, I wanted to talk about this as well. Look at this. This article came out from How to Token, and this is called How Much Money Do We Have to Lose Before We Change Our Economy? Now, this is something that I've thought about quite a lot without getting into specific details. For those of you who don't know, I actually built the house that I'm living in right now. I saved up, I did it, built it from ground up, whatever. And the one thing that I thought about was after I started looking at my 30-year mortgage on this, and I considered the dollar losing 2% to 3% inflation, I realized that in 30 years from now, I'm not even breaking even considering of what the cost of things are going to be. Now, check this out. They actually give an example. They say if a family with an average annual U.S. salary of $52,000 starts to save money for college upon the birth of a child, they should save at least $13,500 per year to save the amount of $270,000 for, let's say, 4 years at Harvard. So they're just using this as an example. They say, but the inflation from the past 20 years would make it lose half of its value. Therefore, in reality, they would have to save $20,600 over 20 years just to keep up with inflation, which in the case of this family being used as the example would be nearly half of their average annual salary. That's how bad it is. So the thing is when people look at Bitcoin and they talk about the crazy volatility of it, yes, that does suck. I'll be the first person to admit that. However, when you look long term, when you look at what cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and the whole crypto space has done in just the past 10 years versus what the dollar has done, yes, the dollar looks very stable on paper, but if you look at the purchasing power of it, you are guaranteed a loss of 2% to 3% annually, and that is not coming back. There's no bear market, bull market. It's just a constant bear market. That's all it is when it comes to regular dollars, because they are, inflationary by default. So crazy rant. Want to talk about that. Now let's get into some coin news. The number one coin is Bitcoin. So let's talk about Bitcoin first. So we have BitMEX to launch Bitcoin BitMEX research software for a client to compete with Bitcoin Core. Now, when they say compete, I don't necessarily know that they actually mean they're going to go head to head. I think it's more of a complementary thing. So it says that BitMEX research said it chose to release their own BTC client to help correct the misunderstanding that open source software repository Bitcoin Core is in charge of the cryptocurrency's development and has the unique capability to change or prevent changes to Bitcoin's consensus rules. A lot of people actually tend to think that as well. I thought that actually for a while, that it was just Bitcoin Core. So they go on on to say that BitMEX also announced their own new client to compete with Bitcoin Core. It says this falls into the other competing software projects category. It aims to reduce the network's reliance on a single major software repository without introducing new risks to the ecosystem. To that end, it will neither implement consensus changes that would force a hard fork nor attempt to re-implement the protocol by rewriting the code base. Instead, it will launch its client as a fork from the core. So since it is a software fork of Bitcoin Core, it carries none of the risks of not being a bug for bug compatible like Satoshi was concerned about. So that was kind of like the big news that everybody was talking about. If you guys want, I'll drop this below. Getting into some other coin news, now we do have the new Brave browser. Now people are excited over this. Apparently it's 22% faster, redesigned Chromium-based desktop version. So if you want to have a look at this, you can download this, check it out, guys. Also, I already have Brave browser, but I've heard that when some people, I guess now when you sign up, they're giving you 25 basic attention tokens. Now, I don't really think that's a lot of, I mean, what is 25 times, what is basic attention token at? Yeah, that's really nothing at all, but they are giving that to you if you sign up. So if you guys want to get the 25 basic attention token, I do have a link in the description as well, and also it helps to support the channel, and you could send me a basic attention tip if you want, because I'm registered with them, so I'm a part of that whole network thing. Now, talking about NANO, I wanted to kind of go into this because this is interesting. I never considered this. So when you're talking about DAG or block lattice or something like that, they actually explain that it's not as simple as upgrading a regular blockchain. For example, like upgrade at block X, right? Well, it doesn't work that way because on the NANO network, the networks are asynchronous. So they say they need an asynchronous form of chain upgrade. So they say next week, the team is going to begin a process of distributing what they call Epoch blocks across the NANO network. Because this is a unique method of upgrading the network, they say, let's take a look at this special type of block. So here you go right here. If you guys, it's not that long if you guys are interested, but I found this pretty cool. I didn't actually know how DAG structures upgrade, so this kind of sheds some light. But if you're holding NANO, it looks like you don't have to do anything, but just letting you know it'll happen in the background. I also wanted to talk about another article that they uploaded from head of research at D-Block, and this is from Marcus John. Now, I actually got a chance to sit down with Marcus, and I'm really, really excited to bring to you guys that interview that we had. So I'm actually going to drop that later. He talks about Icon's relationship with the South Korean government, what Icon is doing, what D-Block is doing, how they're setting up the ICX stations, trying to accelerate these different dApps, and also how they're communicating with consortiums and other enterprises as well. So I'm definitely pretty excited about that one. That'll be coming out later on today. I also wanted to talk about the Monero hard fork is officially live. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this happened a few hours ago at block 1685555. And the correct version is 0.13 beryllium bullet. Now you have to upgrade, okay? So I just wanted to let you know that if you're using an older version of the wallet, just make sure you upgrade. They also mentioned right here that if you need support for anything, you can access at our Monero support. So there you guys go. We also have an update from Banyan Network. I know Banyan Network was a coin we used to talk about a while ago on the channel. So they are having an AMA today in their Telegram chat at 5 p.m. Beijing time. I don't know what time that is over here, but if you're interested, I'll drop this below. Bitfinex'ed has been doing a lot of these lately with projects, so I actually think it's pretty cool. They're really giving these projects a platform to speak. Now, also, let's talk about Elon Musk's Boring Company. Now, it's not like, oh, boring, like Z's go to sleep. No, they're an infrastructure and tunnel construction company, but really what I wanted to point out was they have a product called Not a Flamethrower. I don't know why it's called that, because it is a flamethrower, but it's called Not a Flamethrower, and this is it right here. You can buy it. It's $1,000. But here's the cool thing, why everyone's getting super excited about it, is now if you go over, this is the official website, look at this. You can officially pay with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, or Litecoin. Pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. So, I don't know, is it just me, or do you guys kind of like want to buy a flamethrower? Like, I kind of want to buy a flamethrower now. I don't know why. $1,000. I feel like buying a flamethrower using Bitcoin just feels so right. Just feels so right. Anyway, moving on to some adoption before we get going. So Ticketmaster has partnered with Upgraded, which is a blockchain-based live events company. So basically, long story short, they're going to help Ticketmaster to digitize the traditional tickets by transferring them into interactive units that will have higher security level with encrypted barcodes. So the founder of Upgraded expresses excitement and satisfaction for the collaboration with Ticketmaster, saying that this is the perfect time and platform to promote what blockchain can do thousands of fans. Now, if you guys remember back with Block Nation, I know they had a little bit of difficulty with their ICO. I mean, they were like smack dead in the middle of the bear market trying to raise funds. But yeah, I mean, great use case for blockchain is definitely things like this, tickets, ticketing on the blockchain. I think that's another great use case also. Also, let's talk about you got to talk about the scams. So you have another New York federal court has ordered the cryptocurrency hedge fund Gelfman Blueprint Incorporated, or GBI, and the CEO Nicholas Gelfman to pay over $2.5 million for operating a fraudulent Ponzi scheme. So the CFTC charged GBI for allegedly running a Ponzi scheme from 2014 to 2016, telling investors that it had developed a computer algorithm called Jigsaw, which allowed for substantial returns through a commodity fund. In reality, the entire scheme was a fraud. Per the announcement, GBI and Gelfman fraudulently solicited over $600,000 from at least 80 customers. Moreover, Gelfman set up a fake computer hack to conceal the scheme's trading losses. It eventually resulted in the loss of almost all customer funds. Yeah. Also, just another good reason just to note that Bitcoin is not anonymous. So shame on you Ponzi people. Okay, and I also want to talk about one more thing. So this is actually Zebpay. So you know that they had some issues recently with the Bank of India. So basically what they're doing is they're just moving to Malta, which is exactly what Binance did as well. So by registering in Malta, they'll be able to serve more citizens as well. So it looks like they're also changing their name from Zebpay, and they're changing it to All-in-Can? I have no idea what that means. So anyway, it says that major EU countries such as France, Italy, Ireland, Denmark, and Sweden and their citizens can now use the services provided by Zebpay. So there you go. That is good news. And that's it for the day, guys. So it's Friday. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I want to say thank you again so much for coming back to the channel. You guys are freaking awesome. Seriously considering buying a flamethrower. If I do buy a flamethrower, I'm definitely going to upload a video of me burning something. I don't know. Maybe I'll film myself buying it with Bitcoin. What am I saying? I don't need a flamethrower. I'm just excited that I can buy one with Bitcoin. Okay, that being said, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to my channel. You guys are freaking awesome. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, enjoy your weekend, and peace out.